Truly delighted to have your company on Richard Mwenja Exclusive. It is a distinct privilege to have you with us on board. I'm going to introduce the gentleman who's going to help me unpack the day's conversation. He's none other than this firebrand, biggest expert from Kega County, Herman Manyora, the professor himself. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Fellow professors like you are going back to school to teach Governor Kivutha Kibwana.
Yeah.
And you are keen on going to retirement. Why though?
There are some jobs which people do until they die. Yeah.
Teaching.
My ideal professor is Professor Noam Chomsky.
Okay.
Linguist, mathematician, philosopher, chair of something at MIT. He's over 90. Google Noam Chomsky.
Not Professor Habwe from the University of Nairobi?
Even Habwe is also a good guy. So, judges in America, Supreme Court, you work until there are certain jobs you don't need to retire from. They are not 8 to 5 jobs. In fact, I got annoyed, amused, and just bewildered.
Why so?
When people insisted lecturers must retire at 70, as if it is a 8 to 5 job. And it takes so long to train these fellows. So long. By the time somebody is actually ready to serve in the academy, you tell him to retire. It's just like another job. You can see how stupid we are.
A stupid country.
Yeah.
That of the way, straight to the main conversation for the day. The impeachment motion for DP Rigathi Gachagua is sort of gaining traction, and grounds for his impeachment have been laid out bare for everyone who cares to know about it. But I'm keen to understand, why are we seeing a quota say there's need for both of them to be impeached, the president and his deputy? More of kufa makanga, kufa dereva. Do you think that's the conversation we should also embrace at this time?
It depends on what angle, what perspective you are taking, where you are coming from. Strictly following the law, strictly according to the constitution, kila mtu anabeba mzigo yake. If the president is impeached, he's impeached as an individual. The deputy president takes over. If the deputy president is impeached, he goes home, the president picks another deputy. That's the law.
That is the law.
But the politics seem to favor that argument.
I'm keen to understand what you'll make of the sentiments of Busia Senator Okiya Omtatah, and he had this to say regarding this impeachment motion. Maybe when Ruto and Gachagua turn on each other, Kenyans might get a chance for sober leadership, because I don't see the value in either. There is no point in impeaching a pickpocket and leaving a robber. Do you subscribe to Okiya Omtatah's argument?
That is his thinking. That's not mine. That is his. Yeah.
That is his.
I'm saying, from a legal point of view, each should hang on their own or can hang on their own. But politics will bring on board that kind of argument that there's no distinction between Ruto and Gachagua. They are together, they campaign together. If there's a problem, they have created a problem themselves. If they have engaged in bad manners, both of them should leave. There's also those like Omtatah who perhaps think there's nothing to write home about this country, this government. And therefore, if Gachagua is going, there would be no reason why Ruto should not go. That's politics. Yeah.
That is politics.
Yes.
Former Kiambu Governor Kabogo has actually castigated the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, saying there is no need for him to intervene on the Rigathi Ruto spat, saying Mount Kenya does not need the intervention of Kalonzo Musyoka, at least not now. For Kalonzo Musyoka, he seems to be a man at crossroads. Do you think he should also be involved in this fight between President Ruto and his deputy?
Nobody would stand to gain more than Kalonzo.
How so?
And therefore, not to get involved is to be naive. He must get involved. He's not even involved yet. He should get very involved.
Really?
Because Gachagua may sooner than we think be forced to look for somebody to work with to defeat Ruto in 2027.
But skeptics' argument would say Kalonzo cannot exist unless he's under the shadow of Raila Odinga. Do you think this time around he can do that without
Let
Raila?
me tell you, sometimes we get people wrong. You look at somebody and say, it's useless. But the opportunity has not come. That's why very pale people, when they are giving up, they can shock people. There was a man called Mudavadi, he's still around, an old man, Uncle Moody. Moi had kept him assistant here for years upon years. When the guy became a minister, a vice president, people were surprised. Said, this is the guy Moi kept assistant minister for almost tens of years. You see?
Uncle Moody.
Therefore, Kalonzo Musyoka may just be a victim of circumstances. He has not had opportunity perhaps to shine. And if this opportunity presents itself, he can grab it and shine. I'm not quick to write him off. No.
You still think that he has the wherewithal and
but
the much needed
a lot he has to do. A lot he has to do. First of all, politics is about image. His image is not that good the way you are putting. So he has to work on that image. The perception people have of him has to change. Number one. And number two, he must move out and seize the moment.
Make friends across board?
Yeah. This Gachagua Ruto thing is a golden opportunity to him.
He can harness its potential.
Yeah, he must begin making government. Right now, if I were Kalonzo, I would be making government. I'll be coming up with government that is not even going to wait for 2027. Coming up with government.
The biggest force that he should...
Because now he's supposed to be the leader of opposition. He must be so attractive that Gachagua quickly moves to him. And say, well, and for Gachagua it's very tricky because he may do it sooner than we think.
He may?
Yeah. If you are impeached, you are gone. You can never stand again. Of course, our courts make some all sort of crazy rulings. You see that Senator of Kiambu.
True.
But strictly speaking, according to the law, once you are impeached, you can't stand again. So that means Gachagua could make up the decision sooner than people think.
And so for Kalonzo Musyoka to have the much needed gravitas to hit the ground running, in the event that DP Gachagua is impeached, should Gachagua be his first person that he should scout for?
Why would he wait for Gachagua to be impeached?
He can
That's
quote
why
him
I'm
as early
saying
as
he
now.
must be like a wildebeest. The kid, mama anakimbia akizaa na wewe unafuata yeye. Or you'll be a meal for the predators. He must be running with this thing. He must be looking at the numbers. Is this impeachment going to happen? They must be cracking the numbers, independently and also with Gachagua. And the moment they see this thing is going to go, Gachagua has to resign. And they set up a command center, a situation room. These guys need to hire me. They need to have the numbers now cracking and making telephone calls and contacts. The moment they realize that Ruto has the numbers, Gachagua has quickly to resign.
To resign?
Yes, because then you can be useless. Then if you don't do it, you'll be useless. And he's resigning and walking into a command center.
Strategizing for 2027.
Completely with the old satellite and everything. A serious business set up using like 2 billion shillings. A serious secretariat. Until you shake the foundation of the country. Until Ruto realizes, hey, this was a blunder. Not to wait to be impeached or to resign feebly. You resign and make impact.
And should the DP, Rigathi Gachagua, now resign, would you say that there's need for him to court the Gen Z? So that once he has the Gen Z, that could maybe be a little brigade to bring down Ruto in 2027?
No, it is to engage in very serious thinking.
High ideals?
Strategy developing. Yeah. But optics must also be there. The optics must be there. Hey, if I was in charge of that, hey, Ruto will be shaken.
You've actually on this show many times before advocated for the need for no one to kick a man who is already down. Jubilee SG Jeremiah Kioni has come forth the revelations that DP Gachagua has not talked to the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and neither has Uhuru Kenyatta forgiven DP for the atrocities he committed against the family and he himself as a person. Would you then say that Jeremiah Kioni is actually doing the biggest undoing for his fellow Mount Kenya
That's politics. That's how politicians behave. Nothing makes a politician happier than stabbing another politician in the back. You and I don't work like that. We are human beings. We feel for fellow human beings. But on the other hand, it could be what Kioni is saying could be the truth. How do you know?
It could be the truth?
It could be the truth. We don't. Do I speak to Uhuru Kenyatta?
You don't.
At least Kioni we talk, but it is his word against Gachagua's.
The church has sort of come forth to try to mediate on the situation, and from Bishop Ole Sapit, he's actually implored the president to advance room for dialogue between him and his deputy. And that is also the position of other sections of the church in Kenya. Would you say that maybe the voice of the church can help mediate this situation?
If there was church, I don't think we don't have a church now.
We don't have church?
No. The church died with people like Alexander Muge, Bishop Okulu, David Gitari, Ndingi Mwananzeki, Njenga, all sense, Joya. That was the time.
But we have latter days, Ndingi Mwananzeki in the form of Bishop Muheria and a few others.
There's no church. Church is dead. Which church are you talking about?
So there's no other force, external force, that can mediate on this?
There were days when Njenga stood in All Saints Cathedral. He took the pulpit. Hey, the country was shaking. That was the church. Alexander Muga, that was the church. Bishop Okulu, that was the church. Ndingi Mwananzeki,
Bishop Gitari,
Father Kaisa, that was the church. There's no church anymore. This is just a place where people go to show off the cars they have bought, the new suits.
Your local pastor is watching?
There's nothing. There's no church. It's gone.
So who then can...
From a religious point of view, it's gone. The morals have gone down. The things they are condoning are terrible. Money is taken over everything, so it's become transactional. From a political point of view, it's no longer the conscience of society. When church stood with the people of Kenya, they saved this country from sliding into oblivion. This country would have been destroyed were it not for civil society, which again is dead. Tribalism has killed civil society. Were it not for civil society, this country would have died completely. We would not be on the map of this world. Were it not for the church, that church, we would not be talking today. Were it not for the young Turk, some of them who have been consumed by the fire of materialism now. Because politics has become very transactional. They have joined the thieves we used to fight against. They are all billionaires now. But they played their role. We have to thank them for that. They saved this country. So that's which church are you talking about now?
So then, who is going to come forward and help salvage this political marriage that seems to be on the rocks? Which external force can we maybe tap into?
I think common sense should prevail.
Common sense?
I urge the president to just not to listen to... You know, whenever you are in power, there are people who benefit only when the situation is going in a certain direction. That's how they get their relevance. And unless you deal with them, you can't apply common sense. They keep you on the edge. They fire you. They keep making you believe everybody is an enemy. Even for the National Accord to be actualized in 2008, Kibaki and Raila had to ignore their lieutenants. Stop listening to them and go and hide somewhere in Sagana. Simple.
You've always accredited our President William Ruto with being an independent thinker, but why is he taking much time in mediating this issue?
Power blinds. Power makes you blind. There's need to shake your head. To wake up. That's what I'm asking the president to do. To shake his head like this. And elbow some of the guys from him. And...
The kitchen cabinet?
Yeah, remain alone for some time and think. Even when you go to Switzerland, travel without these guys. Change. Take 1 week without listening to Kina David Lee and anybody else.
Should he perhaps consult our former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, on how to navigate
this situation? Those are the people you should share with a cup of tea. Raila Odinga, without fear, without hiding. Just go in open and have a cup of tea with Raila. have a cup of tea with Uhuru. Let the people say what they are saying. But moments of being alone, moments of reflection of where you have come from, how far God has brought you as William Ruto, from your humble beginnings, the journey you have walked, the successes you have made, and the contribution you want to make to your country and to mankind.
Your legacy.
And why you shouldn't allow some busybodies, hardliners, to push you in the direction of destroying everything you have made and stood for because of short gains. Think about that. Go and call your deputy president, sit down with him, tell him you are not a good deputy. I made a mistake. But I want us to give each other a chance. Let's do it again.
A second chance.
But these are your problems. You are my deputy. You are not the co-president.
It ain't a shared presidency.
Yeah. It's not shared. It's my presidency. I'm giving you another chance. Let us give each other another chance. You also give me another chance. Let's start. But these are the challenges, and this is how we can make sure we don't. That's what I appeal to. It's called common sense.
Renewing their vows.
Yeah, it's important.
Very lastly, sir, in the interest of time.
Because they will self-destruct. If Gachagua is being pushed so hard, he will resist until he's impeached. That will be the end of his political career. He'll never stand again.
Into political oblivion, just like that?
Yeah. He'll continue doing his business, but not politics. Ruto, on the other hand, will be pushed out of power, either before 2027 or in the elections of 2027. Again, for him, whatever good he would have wanted to do for the country will come to naught. So both of them will self-destruct. And there are people really encouraging it.
Commercializing this
But
part.
we must not, I cannot end without saying, these guys could also be playing us.
It could be a decoy?
Yes.
Maybe to divert us from the real issues?
Yeah, from Madani and the rest. Yeah, it's possible. If this impeachment can go like this, like then somewhere it just abruptly dies. In the meantime, all the things people want to do have been done because the focus is on the impeachment. It's possible.
So there could be two sides of this story.
Yeah.
So for Mwananchi, he should stay walk all through it. It makes sense. And very lastly, Sam, now you're seeing DP Rigathi Gachagua treading on murky waters. And my question is, in whose hands, as of now, is Gachagua safe?
In whose?
In whose hands is Gachagua safe as he tries to navigate the street?
I think Gachagua is safe in the hands of Kenyans. And he must try to find those Kenyans. He must find the Kenyans who will give him not just refuge, but a new lease of life. To help those Kenyans drive an agenda of change. It's not only the right person, the best people who drive change. Sometimes you pick a demon or a devil to drive the change. In 2007, when Kenya was set to change, to get a complete paradigm shift with the Raila presidency, Raila was forced to dine with all manner of people, including crocodiles. But if he didn't do that, he was not going to win. He had to invite a broad spectrum coalition. Same with Kibaki in 2002. Sometimes you need hyenas and vultures and everything to win a war. How you deal with those hyenas and vultures is another story.
It's another story. Very well. And in the meantime, would you advise him to continue playing the victim card, crying out to the public?
No, that time is over. Time for action.
Time for action.
I've told you, by now, Rigathi Gachagua must be having a completely full-fledged war council with a command center, a situation room.
A political armored brigade on standby.
Yes. Which is making very, very serious decisions. So one day you emerge and what you say shakes the foundation of the country.
Should he rope you in on that secretariat? Do you think you'll bring forth what he needs the most?
If you can afford me.
Oh, you're red card, huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were doing this for free.
I can't do it for free. I've done things for free for too long.
Can't do the Lord's work?
I've done enough. No, is there a man in this country who has done half of what I've done, apart from Raila and one or two others?
Maybe Gitobu Imanya.
I've done my bit for this country. Now I can demand some fees.
some fees. Yes. There you have it. Until we have this conversation again, do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Keep us engaged on our social media handles. I'm at Mwenja Richard on X and on TikTok. Find Professor Herman Manyora at Herman Manyora on both platforms as well. Until then, do enjoy your day.